Hi, my name is Angela Lydon and I am the National Development Officer for Special Olympics MATP programme, and I'm a complex needs teacher at the West Silk in Leeds. On this video we're going to be looking at dexterity, throwing and throwing to a target. I've got a number of resources. The idea of this video is that it supports our MATP at home resources. So in these videos we're going to be working with resources that you would typically find in a school. That you may wish to order or that you may have lying around already. So, throwing. We did look at maintenance of grasp and grasp and release. Throwing is slightly different because you are propelling the object from you. You can throw anything, but when we're looking at MATP, we are thinking about activities that are sport specific. So in this video I'm focusing on throwing balls, basically. And bean bags and things like that. So to start off with, you can simply encourage your child, your student, to pick up and throw the ball. So they can do this by pushing it off their tray or table with one hand, two hands, and they can use a large ball and pick it up with two hands and throw it. Or if it's easier for them, they may pick up a small ball and throw it. They may wish to have a little bit more motivation to pick up that ball in the first place. So you could have a ball such as this. I think it's lost its squeak, it did have a squeak. And pick it up and throw that. You may have children who have increased muscle tone, particularly in their forearms, affecting their grasp and release. And this can often be really frustrating because you may have an individual who understands the whole the concept of throwing and wants to, but every time they try to throw and put the effort in, it makes their fingers tighten up so they're not able to let go. So a great solution for that is a dog ball flinger. So you can put a ball in it and then the student can hold on and they can throw without having to let go of the item. And you don't just have to use this with balls, you can get anything balanced in there. You could get a bean bag in there and throw the beanbag, so that they're really useful for students with spastic tone in their hands. So that's a lot about throwing. You can also do throwing to a target. So that really varies on what it is that's going to motivate your students. So I've got a couple of ideas to share with you. One of the things that we've found very useful is what I'm sitting behind here, which is an old hospital rise and fall table, because we found that a lot of our students, their wheelchairs are no longer issued with trays. So this has been really useful in providing a platform for students to push and move things from. So throwing to a target. You can start with just something really simple like a bucket, any old bucket, just something that they can focus on and throw into. You might want this to be on the floor in front of them, or you may want it on the table in front of them. As long as it fits in there, you can throw it in there. It may be more motivating for the student if you put some crinkly paper in the bottom of the bucket, and you can also use technology. I have a question and answer buzzer here that makes this noise. So if I put that in the bottom of the bucket and then the student throws the ball into the bucket, it makes a noise, which is the extra feedback that students might need. The other thing I've got here is this goal, and if something goes into the goal enough to make the back move, it makes a noise. So you can do that with throwing, or you can have it on the floor for kicking. We'll be using that a little bit later on. Another thing that we found our students really enjoy is Skittles. I've got some Skittles down here. Skittles, it's great if you have plastic clattery Skittles like these ones. They make a really good noise when they fall down. They're easy to knock down, and if you are using white Skittles, make sure they're on a visually contrasting background. So on this dark blue carpet they really stand out, because students with visual impairment would find it very difficult to aim for a target if it wasn't contrasting with the background that it was on. So in order to get to the Skittles, you can use one of these nearly deflated physio balls if your student is able to just lift and throw at the Skittles, or you may wish to use a ramp. I've looked at the ramps before. We've got a large curling ramp here. Curling Skittles is lovely. where you have a nice sensory curling stone to put on your ramp, and then you can use it to knock over the Skittles. You can get a ramp as well. And the other ramp you could use is a bocce ramp, or you can use a bit of guttering or anything you like. And you would have this on a student's knee, and they can do it sideways on, whichever way is easiest for them. And there's quite a number of balls. I'm going to pick this one, it's got a bell in it, and you could roll down towards the Skittles to knock them over. Sometimes if you've got a student who struggles, you might want to use a heavier ball, so it's a lot easier to get those Skittles knocked down. The other thing that I have here is a ground basketball net, which is very useful for individuals who are sitting. So if you place it on the floor, you could use a ramp with this if you wish to, and you could get the student to place their ramp in the basket just to really provide a few more boundaries and emphasise where the ball needs to go. Or you can simply place it in front of the student sitting on a chair, standing up, using their wheelchair, in a standing frame, whichever position is best for them, and one hand or two hands, and get them to just throw the ball into the net. The other thing that I've got behind me here is a number of targets. Now these targets are all designed to be used with Velcro, and you can get a number of products that can support the use of things with Velcro. The one problem with a lot of products that have Velcro in them is sometimes the Velcro dots don't stay on. So when you're looking for them, it's much better to have ones that are secured with stitching as well as glue, because sometimes you would just end up with lots of Velcro dots on the inside of your storage boxes and none on your balls. So we'll start with this one. This is a fabric that Velcro will stick to. So in order to use this one, you need items such as this beanbag that have Velcro hooks on them, and you throw them at the target and they stick. The next one here has both the material and it's got a Velcro disc in the middle. So with this one, you can get balls such as balloon balls, also have these panels in, that have the fabric panels that will stick to the Velcro when you throw it at them. Or you can use items once again with Velcro on them that stick to them. And this one here is just hook Velcro. So you'll want something like we threw here that will stick to them. Sometimes just a standard tennis ball will stick to that sort of Velcro, which means resource-wise it's a lot easier to equip. And this again is one that's been picked up from IKEA, I believe. So these things don't have to be from specialist places at very high inflated prices. And this is one of our children's favourites. And once again, it's just a fabric, but with the spider's web on it and the eyes in the middle, it provides a little bit more of a challenging target for your more able students, if you have students who are going to understand that they're aiming for something and the little fishes stick on. So there are all some ideas of equipment for throwing to a target.